Hi there, and welcome to the Mindful Marathon podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Michelle Quirk, a run coach and pediatrician. Mindful Marathon is all about helping runners of all types to run their own race. Whether you are a seasoned runner or you're just getting started, I want to let you know that you're welcome here and that you're in the right place. Today, I have a very special guest with me. I have with me Dr. Marion McCrary. She is a primary care internal medicine physician in North Carolina and a national board certified health and wellness coach. And she is a runner, and I'm thrilled to have her here. So welcome, Marion.
Thank you so much for having me. And I love that. She's a runner. It took me a long time to be able to say I'm a runner. So I appreciate that. So
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and the start of your running journey.
I would love to. As I said, I'm a runner, and it wasn't true for a long time. I actually started running after I turned 30, and it came out of being involved in doing several of these long distance walks for fundraising. So I had a good friend who had breast cancer at a young age and recovered. She said, I want to do something. So there were the 3-day walk, the Avon had a walk, Avon had a 2-day walk. And so
Yeah.
we trained and trained and trained and did several of these walks that were 60 miles over 3 days.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is fun. I love hanging out with everybody, but it takes a long time.
Mhm.
So when we came back from that, I said, you know what? Maybe I should try running. And I had never been a runner other than, running around the gym and then getting winded and saying, I can't do this. Had allergic asthma as a child and got over that, but then realized I had a little bit of this exercise induced asthma, figured out how to kind of address that. So here I was, in my 30s going to this beginning runners class that a
Mhm.
local Fleet Feet which one of the shoe stores, I would say,
Yeah, yeah.
in our community set this up for beginning runners. And it started off really nicely with kind of this walk, get a little bit of run in. So I was introduced to this walk run strategy really early and did that, got really interested in it, did like a 2.5 mile run to start with. They called it the pumpkin run. So it was on
I love
trails
it.
in October. It was great and got the bug. And so then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I can do this. So I just kind of looked online, said, okay, what's my next race? Picked a 6 mile race in Charleston with the Bridge Run, which a lot of people have heard of,
Yeah.
and trained for it, really gung ho, did it. Came back about 2 weeks later, was running and got this like hammer pain in my
Uh-oh.
groin
Okay.
and had a stress fracture.
Oh, no.
And so, I'm like, oh, where did this come from? I was so into it. And it really kind of got me off that path for a while. But I was
Mhm.
able to come back, do some other things. And at the age of 42, ran my first half marathon.
Oh, yay. Oh, congratulations. This is great.
Thank you. Thank
And
you.
you've
So,
done you've
yeah.
done more than one half marathon now, right?
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
did 3 half marathons within the
Awesome.
span of 18 months,
Nice.
and, then have kind of taken some breaks and come back and taken some breaks, so it's been
Mhm.
this up and down journey,
Yes.
but always kind of coming back to it, and I definitely thought that, for your listeners today, hearing about that and some of the strategies that's helped me, kind of keep going could really be helpful for them as well.
Yeah, I love that. As you know, I was not a runner as a kid either. Like I started right around age 30, so you're in good company.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before and kind of what our recovery exercise was, what we did. So it's really interesting to see that you're not the only one when you're learning these new things and having these experiences.
Yeah, yeah, it's never too late. That's what I always tell everybody. And running is, like you said, it's always there, right? You don't have to do it all the time, but it's always there for you if you want it. So take us through a little bit. I know a lot of people struggle with injury. Maybe some of the techniques you used during that period of time that helped you get through that period, because you had found it and you kind of caught the bug, like you said, and it can be quite awful to have an injury and then be thrown completely off and have to take time off. It really stinks.
It really does. And it was, to use the word depressing. I think it's just you get so excited about, they talk about that, those runners endorphins and kind of what it does for you. And you're active, you're in the flow. And then
Yes.
all of a sudden you can't do it. And so for me, being new at it, and really, I'm an internist, but I don't do tons of orthopedics. I did a lot of research. I was like, I think this is what it is. I was trying to treat myself.
Mhm.
And eventually it was officially diagnosed and, recommendations of take time off. And so, I was like, well, what am I going to do? And so I'd never been a swimmer. I learned a
Mhm.
dog paddle when, I was a kid, and I was like, well, I got to do something else. And swimming was an option for doing something active while you're recovering. So I went to the wellness center that I belonged to that had a pool. And it
Mhm.
just so happened they had adult swim classes. And so just like they teach kids to swim, they were doing this for adults who actually were kind of wanting to get into swimming for training, but
Mhm.
they also picked up people who had never swam, a full lap.
Yeah.
And so I bought goggles, learned how to do that, and it was so interesting. And honestly, that was one of the things that's like, if I can learn how to run, I can learn how to swim, I can do anything. And so that's been something that I've been able to come back to just at times where it's interesting to me to swim when I'm not running or when I need a recovery time. And it was really good during the pandemic last year because
Mhm.
they opened up the pools and, you couldn't go do other things at the gym, but you could be outside in a pool swimming laps and feel like you're doing something. And
Yeah.
so for me, that ability to kind of think outside my little narrow window of what I had been doing to see what other opportunities were out there. And then when I really got serious later on about training for more long distance races, it was finding a partner and a physical therapist who could help me because I
Mhm.
knew most likely I had some, alignment issues or I was kind of just not right in certain ways. And so she's been a partner for me during this whole time of helping me train and just feel well and not have pain when I've been running. And
Yeah.
so those two things I think for injury prevention is just know you may need to do some other things for exercise and then have someone, a professional who can help you through some of those injuries can be really helpful.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. I actually found swimming after an injury too. I knew how to swim, like to stay afloat, but I didn't really know how to swim.
Yeah.
And I had an injury it was not running related. Like I tripped in my garden. Anyway, it was a few years ago, but I couldn't run for probably about 3 months. And I
Mm.
was quite sad about that at the beginning. And I remember I felt quite sorry for myself and I was allowed to swim. And so while I was swimming those laps in the pool, I got the idea like, all right, I've always wanted to try a triathlon. And I ended up, but I hired a coach, a swim coach to teach me how to really get across the pool. And as she described it, like I was going forward, but not moving anywhere, like a hamster on a wheel. And so, but it was great. And I found that I really enjoyed swimming. Like I still prefer running, but I really love swimming. And so I wouldn't have found that otherwise, if it hadn't been for that period of time. And now I know that swimming is there. If I need to take time off, like it's there for me. And I love that.
Yeah, and it's so great for your body sometimes to have that ability to cross train, as they say, and just,
Mhm.
after you've done a long series of running, to give yourself that break and but still have something to do. So
Yeah.
I agree 100% with you on that.
Now tell us, like with the span of that was a pretty quick time period there where you did the 3 half marathons. Did you feel at all like after you got done with that, were you burned out on running, or did that ever happen for you?
A little bit, actually. So the first two were in 2016. So I did one in March and one in December.
Mhm.
And then the last one was November in 2017.
Okay.
And so at that point, yeah, I was kind of dealing with these nagging things, and I, got to the end of the third one that I did, and I was like, maybe I'm going to take a little bit of time off. I think I actually signed up. There's a 10-mile race in Chapel Hill where I live, the
Mhm.
Tar Heel 10 miler, and I signed up to do that, 5 months later. It's like, oh, think about it. And so I think I did go through that little bit of a cycle and took some time off. And then we got a puppy the next year, and I got distracted. And so I think getting back into it has always been a goal for me when I've taken a little bit of time off, which is, where I am now. I'm actually restarting. I went out and ran this morning
Yeah.
before I talk. So I could officially say I ran today
Mhm.
when we were on here. And so I do think there are sometimes competing responsibilities, and you put a lot of time and effort into training for these long distance races,
Mhm.
that maybe you need to reallocate that time to something else after that season, and you can still get out and run for activity, but you're not putting in those long hours. So I think that's something that supported me with being able to continue to do this over time, is to have that mindset that, it's there when I want it, and I can take a break from it and come back.
Mhm.
And that's helped me kind of stay friendly with it as well.
Yeah, I like that. Stay friendly with it. I think, a lot of us are very, I'll speak for myself, but very high achieving and love to follow a training plan. And I found that I had really been doing training cycle after training cycle up until the pandemic started. Like I had, half marathon. I would pick my goal races for the year and train for those. And I took some time off after each race, but only a couple of weeks really. And yeah, and then, the pandemic hit and there were no races. And so I spent basically a year like base training, like doing lots of easy miles. Like I didn't really have anything on the calendar, but I was okay with it. And I think I needed that time to really rest and regroup.
Take a breath. Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially with all the other things that were going on during the pandemic, and how our energy was going to just kind of managing our days.
Yeah.
To add the training for, a marathon onto that, might have been really hard.
Yeah.
That piece that you mentioned of kind of signing up for the next race and having that, that on the books to kind of keep you going, that's definitely something that I found that motivated me.
Mhm.
And until it didn't, so that was once, I was injured and I missed it, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I don't need to just keep signing up. Maybe I can just think about doing this on a little bit lower key right now. But that's something that resonates with me as well.
Yeah, I think there's all different ways to get to it. I mean, some people are very motivated by time goals and distance goals and within a race setting, and other people are not. And for me, I think it was nice to take a step back from that. As much as I missed the the race atmosphere, yeah, I was quite happy to plod along and just enjoy my run without having a particular training plan. So it
Yeah.
was good. And then I missed it, after that period of time, I really could feel that I was missing it. It was nice to take that time and just regroup and remember why I was doing it in the first place without a race or a medal or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That really speaks to what I do as a coach as well. So as a health and wellness coach, and I know you coach runners. I coach on anything, but I think the piece of that you just mentioned is, why is this important to me, and why is it important to me to do it right now? So you've got to know yourself,
Yeah.
and figuring out, is this something I'm doing because it gives me energy, or is it, working towards a goal of I want to lose weight, or, just what keeps you going? And then figuring out, what gives you confidence to actually achieve that goal. Is it, that you've done this before, you can do it again. So kind of having one marathon or half marathon under your belt, shows you that you can do it, and you can kind of keep moving forward. So,
Yeah.
um,
As a coach, how do you help people if they're not sure of their why, or if
Mhm.
they give you a why that maybe isn't, it's something on the surface, but you know that there is something deeper, how do you help people to figure that out?
Yeah.
What process do you go through?
That's a great question. So trying to figure out why it's important to you is so key. You've got to know yourself.
Mhm.
And if let's use an example just as an exam room as a doctor. If I go in and say, Michelle, your cholesterol's high, you need to eat this way and you need to do that. That doesn't always go across very well. So they're not attached to it. So figuring out, you coming to that point of saying, I'm going to do this because it lowers my cholesterol, but it also does this. So, seeing this vision of where you see yourself in the future, whether that be related to
Mm,
exercise or other things, figuring out, why you want to get there. And then, saying, why is this important to me right now? So
yeah.
you can go through so many different kind of strategies or workshop type things or
Mhm.
worksheets of why do I want to do this, but then getting really solid on that and even kind of giving it a number, like this is an 8 on a 10 scale of importance to me,
Yeah.
really can solidify this is what I want to spend my time on.
Oh, I like that. I like the number scale. Yeah, I may
Yeah.
have to adapt that. I ask people, even in my initial questionnaire before we work together, kind of like, what is your motivation to run and why do you have this goal? But sometimes people aren't totally sure. Like it can change and it can evolve over the course of a
Yeah.
training cycle. But just to get people to start thinking about that, it's just sometimes we don't stop to take a breath and really consider that sometimes.
Exactly. And that's, some people who come to running, they're still thinking about it. So they may come to you as a coach of like, "Oh, I'm just not sure yet," and helping them explore that and kind of move from that phase of, as they say, pre-contemplation to contemplation to action. That's sometimes the work as a coach, to just help them, decide that they want to do it. Make that choice.
Yeah.
And once you make that choice, then it's on you and you get to decide. So
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that you own it, right?
yeah.
You make the decision and you own it.
Yeah. It's you get to decide you wanna run. It's not somebody's chasing you or
For
not.
sure. I like to say that too, that we don't have to run, we get to run.
I'm a walk runner. So
Mhm.
I kind of throw a minute of walking in there, and that's a strategy that I've done for all of my half marathons. So I'm
Yeah.
starting that process back up, building up.
Mhm.
My husband, who is had his ups and downs with running, threw out to me, do you want to do a half marathon in December? He actually went through aortic valve replacement
Oh,
last
wow.
fall for a bicuspid aortic valve. So he's my age, in his late 40s, and so he's like, I'm running now. I want to do this, and so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, let's do it. And so I'm like, oh, I got to start training. It's a long way away. This is too early, but so that's my hope, is to kind of get back in, can use all those supports and things I know about myself, having that kind of goal in mind, actually doing a race at a place that I really enjoy, I want to go,
Yeah.
also makes it, to me, be more accountable, get all my people in place, start my training program. Those are the things that I know support me and to continue to keep running. And then we'll cross our fingers, no injuries along the way,
Yes, for
to do
sure.
that. But yeah, so that's where I am. And hopefully another half is in me at some
Oh,
point
for
and maybe
sure.
more. So
I think more. But one at a time. One at
exactly.
a time. I think this is a great goal, especially for your husband. I'm glad he's doing well after that surgery. And this is,
Very
yeah,
well.
this is a wonderful thing to do together. I mean, this is
Yeah.
what my husband and I kind of rope each other into different races. Like he's got his goals and I have mine, and then we kind of end up running a lot of these races together. So
Yeah. And we may both be there, but we're not running together. He's
no,
a lot
same. Yeah,
faster than
yeah. We've talked about this.
I'm a slow and steady, finish the race. And he's like, let's go.
I
So
think we need to do yes, we'll both do the same race and then I can run with you and they can run together.
all right, that's
We'll
a
be-
plan. After this, we'll start plotting.
I love it. Well, tell us where we can find you and a little bit about what you do as well as a coach.
If you're on social media for Facebook and Instagram, my page is Marion McCrary Wellness. And you can, subscribe or, like that page, I guess is the word, and follow some of the things that I'm putting on there. Some inspiration. There'll be some running things as well, and keep you guys abreast of what's going on with my journey. And I'd love feedback and see what's working for you as well.
I love it. And I'm going to leave I'll leave the links in the description here on the video too, so everybody can click over there.
And if anybody's wanting to train for a half marathon later this year, let me know. Maybe, like you said, we can kind of do this in parallel and help each other stay accountable.
I love it. And if anybody is looking for a coach to help you train for a half marathon in December, I'm going to leave my link below to schedule a call with me. So you can, even if you're a newer runner or you are a runner who hasn't run in a while, I would love to help you get back into the sport. So I'll leave a link below to schedule a call and check out my coaching packages on the website. So thank you so much, Dr. Marion, for joining us today and all of your pearls of wisdom, especially with the mindset piece.
Thank you so much. It's been so fun. And we're definitely going to have to pick out a race to do together.
Yes, I love it. All right. All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you for listening today. If you enjoyed the episode, please share it with a friend. And if you have a moment, please rate and review the podcast so that we can reach and encourage others to tie on their sneakers and join us out there on a run. See you next time.